taking the time out of your spring break to chat with me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of the sun a little bit, but
I know you're gonna make me jealous with your nice weather too. Is that what you're gonna do? That's
I
okay.
mean, it's not warm, but it's sunny, which is nice.
Okay. But
So if
what's
you're
your
like,
not warm? What's your definition of not warm?
um, it's like 50 degrees out, maybe.
Okay.
So it's sunny, but it's
Yeah.
like 50 degrees. So
Okay.
it's not
Nice.
super,
Do
super
you have
hot.
lots of and you have lots of stuff planned this week, don't you?
Um, yeah, so this tonight, tomorrow I'm going skiing with a friend and then like running home to do a happy hour with Charm City Meadery out of Baltimore. And then
Nice.
on Thursday, um, we're starting like a new live tasting event with cider makers, and that one it's hosted by a cider house out of Olympia, and so they're setting it all up, and I'm just like emceeing it kind of, and that's gonna be 4 cideries tomorrow. So it's Soundbite Cider, Bellingham Cider, Two Town Cider House, and then Woolly Bros Cider out of Cedro Woolley. So all mostly Washington and one Oregon cidery. So
Oh, that's pretty cool. So that's your new live stream series, no? That
yeah, so it
yeah.
actually will be off of Instagram. It's a Zoom like ticketed event. So you buy the tasting kit and
Hmm.
then you get the Zoom link and go to the event, and it's like an hour and a half. I think we're planning on doing them once a month.
Nice.
Um, and it'll be, you get to interact with the cider makers and ask them questions, and each of the little boxes have like some swag that came with it along with the ciders. Um, yeah, I think it'll be,
Nice.
I think it'll be cool. We'll see. The first one is this Thursday, so if it's something that we like, we'll keep doing.
That's nice. Now, is
Yeah.
that just for in the Seattle like area? Like I know I can't order one to have it shipped to me in Toronto or Mississauga, but um,
Yeah.
people in
They
your area, like how far will that can they how far could
they
people be?
sh- they ship to 14 states, but I don't know which 14 states. So definitely Washington for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know what other states. I know there's 14 of them total. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, let us know all about you. I mean, I've been following you on social media, so but I don't want to, give away too much. So, but let us know. Like, again, I know you just had your 2 years anniversary. So,
Yeah.
how did you get started?
Um, this is always the question people ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. It just kind of like evolved into its own thing. I was like late to the Instagram game in general, and I was doing like my own kind of like personal account where I was like, here's what I'm eating and where I'm going and hiking and all that stuff. And I liked to drink cider, and so my boyfriend at the time was like, you should start a cider account and maybe people will send you free cider. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So it like just kind of started as me posting whatever I was drinking.
Hmm.
And then 2 years later, this is kind of what it has evolved into is, doing all these cider events and judging competitions and writing articles and, um, you know, happy hours and all that. So it just kind of took off on its own.
That's awesome. So it's just out of your passion and everything that you love to do.
Yeah.
Talk to people and try ciders and Palms and Pints is your little from it
So,
started in April, right? April?
um,
Around about or
yeah, about a year ago, it was part of my like New Year's resolution last year was to start a website, and I didn't want the website to just be like about me because I was like, well, I don't want that. So I wanted it to be a place where I could like put everything cider and related to cider. So where you want to go to get ciders, where you want like what kind of ciders you should drink. Does your local bar have like a good cider selection? Like all of that kind of stuff. And so it was part of my New Year's resolution was to start the website. So I started it and I started the account, but that's kind of all that really happened. So the account right now, as far as Instagram, is mostly a repost account. So other cider bloggers, reviewers, influencers, cider makers, I just repost their content that they're making. Um, I do have a podcast in the works right now, but I
Nice. Okay.
haven't filmed or recorded anything yet. But I've got the domain name and all that set aside, so that should be
Nice.
coming soon.
And what was the inspiration for that?
For the
For the
podcast,
podcast? Yeah, yeah.
the same thing that for Palms and Pints, just like getting like information out to people in a different format. Ooh,
Okay.
I'm freezing up. I gotta go closer to my internet. But yeah, it was just I've heard some podcasts, and I feel like a lot of them are very. I'm going to the and near the Wi-Fi router. But if there's a few cider podcasts out there, but a lot of them are very much geared towards people who are already in the industry, already make cider. So I want to make a podcast that's more for people who like are new to cider. So like,
Okay.
what is cider? Different kinds of apples, different kinds of techniques for making cider. Maybe even do kind of like the happy hour series and do interviews with cider makers, but in a podcast format. So you don't have to sit and watch it. You could throw it on in your car on a road trip, just making it more accessible to lots of people.
Nice.
So hopefully in the next like couple months that'll be rolling out, but I have too many things on my plate already. I just keep adding more. I'm like, let's do this and this and this.
Well, let us know what else is on tap, because I mean, it's exciting.
I'm in the works of working to do a live trivia night in person at a cider house.
Nice.
We haven't come to an agreement yet on official details, so I'm not gonna say who it is yet, but that'll be like a monthly thing, hopefully. So there'll be some in-person live trivia going down.
Okay.
Hopefully some Apple themed stuff, and then just keeping with my account and doing reviews, and when things open back up, hopefully getting to some cider events and getting to see more cideries.
What's the scene like? Sort of, I guess. What's the environment like there now? Because I know when you came to the chat, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope all the Ontario talk was. I mean, it was nice when you chimed in and like, you guys are way too strict with your tariffs and taxes up here. I love that. You're like, we all need to come there, because a few things. The comment that you said, which is like in my head, is crazy. Is like, you said like you could literally go to someone's garage and they could be making cider in there and you can buy it, and that's totally legal.
Yeah.
Where here it's like not possible. But that was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a cidery. I haven't been to it yet, but there's one in Tacoma, which is like the town right next to where I live, that they make cider out of their garage. They converted their garage into a bar, and you can just go in there and like they have a license or whatever, and you just go and you can buy it and drink it in their garage. It's like a converted garage. So, but everything's pretty much open here. We're at 50% capacity. That's about it. So we're not in like super lockdown, but no big like events are happening. So, all the festivals and things that normally would be happening are postponed or canceled. So.
Yeah, same here. Our province, Ontario, we're back into lockdown for at least another month. So the capacity is 25 or 15%, or depending on what the environment is. And so our like bars and everything, the restaurants it's only like takeout or delivery. So it's really that's why I think the conversation in the cider chat too, about like how we can support like our local cideries, and then now they're able to deliver to us, which is just super convenient, and great chance to get to know them. But are there a lot of cider makers and cideries in your area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like trying to think just in like, so I live in a tiny town, but I live next to Tacoma, which is like a pretty big city in Washington. Not as big as Seattle, but I think just in Tacoma, there's 2 or 3 cideries, and then there's 2 cider houses. But I mean, Seattle has probably 15 or 20 different cideries. I mean, I don't know all of them, or at least in the Seattle area. So there's a lot. I mean, yeah.
Nice. And you said something about when in your podcast you wanted to do like to for people that were new to cider about apples and things. So just like regionally speaking, is there the ciders that come out of like the Pacific Northwest, as I don't really know which apples grow everywhere.
Hmm.
Is there like a certain like a variety of apples that are I don't know, indigenous, I guess, to the Pacific Northwest, or that like a lot of us
Um,
using?
I don't know about indigenous, but Washington is like we can grow a lot of apples, like a lot of different kinds of apples. I mean, a lot of the culinary apples that people eat are grown in Washington, and then a lot of like the heirloom varieties grow really well up here, and so yeah, they can you can get pretty much. I mean, I have an apple tree growing right next to my house. I don't know what kind of apples it has, but you can, they just like are on this like. There's a whole cidery up here that their whole thing was they started out because they were taking unwanted fruit from all these trees that people just had apples that were falling on the ground, and they started a cidery that way. Like, there's a lot of apples in Washington,
Yeah.
but I don't know if any of them like are native to this area. I mean, there's a lot of crab apples, so
Hmm.
they probably are native.
Well, they're supposed
Um,
to make good cider, aren't they? Crab apples?
yeah.
Yeah. I haven't had a crab apple cider. Have you had one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's these crab apples. I think it's the Manchurian crab apple. They're like this big. They're teeny tiny. A lot of orchards will plant them just as pollinators because the bees like them.
Okay.
But they make really delicious cider. It's like very tannic, and kind of sour, like a little funky. So it's good.
Okay.
Crab apple cider is like very I mean, they're spitters, so you're gonna get like a lot of tannins in the cider. So they're good.
Nice.
I like them. I like that kind of cider though.
No, I like very dry, very sour, like very bitter. I don't like sweetness, no sugar, nothing like that. I like
Hmm.
it like I guess the crabbier apple the cider, the better it is. Am I frozen on your screen by any chance? Because
Mm-mm. Am
you're
I pro?
you're frozen, but you're frozen in a lovely picture. Like you're just like uh, well, I'm not frozen on you. You're just like yeah,
But you can
but
hear
so
me.
it's yeah, but it seems to be just my device, I think. Let's see, what can I? Yeah, oh, I
Interesting.
can hear you just fine. I wonder,
Weird.
isn't that strange? Let's see. And people's comments are coming up fine. I have you on another device, and now, see, yeah, hmm,
Weird.
isn't that strange? Well,
Yeah.
maybe I'll just talk to you on two devices. Oh, look, I see it. Neither we're not frozen for you, Michelle. Well, that's good. Well, I you
Nice.
see, I'm gonna have to use two devices when I see your stash, I think, because
Ooh, so you can see it.
I yeah. Otherwise, everyone's just gonna make me jealous.
It's pretty like my stash is kind of eclectic and everywhere, so we'll have to. It'll be a adventure.
That's okay. That's okay. Do you want to take us now?
Sure. Okay. So I'm going to unattach myself from the tripod though, and then we'll have to do a flipperoo when we get there. Okay, we'll start with the regular fridge. I'm gonna turn this around. So in my regular fridge,
Did you
I know.
say your regular fridge? Like you mean where the boring old food and stuff is?
Yeah. So
Okay.
in my regular fridge, I have some of the ciders for like upcoming happy hours, so I don't accidentally drink them.
Okay.
Then over here I have a bin, and in here, I have some kind of like some of it's like fancier stuff. Like I have some verticals of a couple ciders. I had a follower send me some stuff that he had made. So I've got some ciders and meads that a follower made. This one's pretty cool. It's a sour lemon raspberry cider from Schilling. It's
Okay.
got the fancy wax top, but they're all just kind of like thrown in here for now until I make more space in my I have a cider fridge. So this is my cider fridge.
Nice.
And it's pretty full. Let's see if I can get on the ground near it. So I have it organized in certain ways. So the top shelf is I've taken pictures of it. It's ready to drink and be reviewed.
Okay.
The second shelf is I've taken like one picture of it, but I need more pictures. This one is just bottles that don't fit anywhere else, so they're sideways in here. This is all stuff that needs to be reviewed and had pictures taken of it. And then on the bottom is all stuff I've already had and have reviewed and had doubles or more of. So I'm free to drink them whenever I choose.
Right. Now, there's a question here. It's just, what cider are you currently have or you're most excited to have or have again that you have?
Ooh. This one has been, so I just got a package a couple days ago from San Diego. And so I'm excited to try this one. Here, let me turn the camera around so you guys can see it. So
Okay.
it's like a dirty chai cider. So it's got coffee and spiced
Okay.
chai. So I'm pretty
I've heard
excited to
about
try
that
that one. I think it'll be good. Most of their other stuff I really have enjoyed. So, and then I have some like meads and stuff that I'm kind of excited to get into because I don't drink mead very often.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you talking to? Okay. My kid's on FaceTime. With
Oh.
his... I'm like, who are you talking to? He's like, who are you talking
I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, I'm talking to you, actually.
to?
I'm looking at two devices, but I'm talking to you. There's a lot of love for your cider fridge. A lot of love.
Ooh. Yeah, I that was something I've been wanting for a while, and my parents got it for me for Christmas, and it was like, I was
Oh,
very excited. It's a game changer.
oh, that's so nice. And I love watching your cocktail, your cider cocktail series.
Oh, thanks. I,
Yes.
I haven't filmed one in a while, but
Mhm.
I do have some ideas of things that I want to film. It hasn't happened. It's finding the time.
Yeah. And how did that inspiration come about?
Um, I don't even remember. I think it kind of started like about this time last year is when I started the happy hours, and I was doing virtual trivia for a little while, and I think it really was like I was stuck at home because we were all in like lockdown city, and I was like, what am I gonna do with my time while I'm stuck at home? So I started doing the virtual happy hours, and then I was like, ooh, I think somebody probably like mentioned something about a cocktail to me, and I was like, I'm gonna try and make cider cocktails. And everything I've made has just been like an experiment, pretty much, kind of like what you do when you're like doing your baking and like repurposing with cider. Um,
Oh, thank you for knowing that. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty similar. Like I'll look up cocktails, and I'm like, well, what ingredient in this cocktail could I replace with a cider? And
Hmm.
that's just kind of how I do it. And all of them so far have been good. None of them have been like disgusting, but some of them, like would I drink them all the time as like my replacement cocktail? Probably not, but they're fun to make.
Okay. Okay. That's fun. And was there a favorite one? Like, or all of them?
Yeah, there's,
Besides the sweater you were wearing for the eggnog?
yeah, I mean, the eggnog one was amazing, actually. Like, I was surprised how much I liked that one. Um, there's like a berry Moscow Mule one that I've made where it's like ginger beer, vodka, berries, and then like a berry cider. And I
Hmm.
loved Moscow Mules. So that's one I've had like out, like I kept drinking and I've made again. Um, the other one that I made, and I made for like a bunch of my friends one time, was we made sidecars using Pommeau instead of brandy,
Hmm.
and that was good. So, I mean, Pommeau's just tasty. So you can find a cocktail to put Pommeau in, or just have Pommeau, then do it.
I
It's
like
good.
I like the Shirley Temple one minus the actual. Yeah, that looked pretty too. Oh, I think I've lost sound on you. And then the layered one too. I saw you do the layered one with the lager, I think, no? With the
Oh
water?
yeah, I tried to do it and it was okay. I'm not a big beer fan, and so like I don't think I finished drinking that one. I ended up pouring it out because like it tasted good, but just beer in general, like it just doesn't agree with me. And so I was like, I could keep drinking this and feel gross, or I could stop. Ooh, I forgot to show you guys the other part of my cider collection.
The other part. Okay, we're all on
Yeah.
our my eyes are gonna go to my other device because you're still frozen in your beautiful picture for me.
Okay, here, I'll
Okay.
show you. Oh, cat food. Okay, so over here is where I keep my Pommeaus. I guess I only have 4 going right now. But they're like an ice. I think one might be an ice cider.
Nice.
No, it's an apple wine. I think it is a nice cider. So the Pomos are, um, let's see, I have one that's like, where is it? A red fleshed one. So yeah, this one
Oh,
made with,
so nice.
so they're like dessert ciders
Mm-hmm.
and they're higher ABV. Excuse me, sir, please don't. It's like my kid's like on my back. Yeah, so I have like four-ish bottles of those. They're just like higher percentage ciders
Yeah.
and Pomos. So I always forget about them because you don't have to put them in like cold storage, so they just like sit on a wine rack. And then I don't drink them because I forget about them.
So your favorite kind of go-to is cider? Like if you're gonna have if it's like a long day and you're just like home and you're just like it's this day has to be done now and I want something I know I'm gonna like and not have to dump down the drain or repurpose and bake with, what would it be? Like
Hmm.
what's your go-to right now, I guess? Like your comfort.
I have so many different ones right now, like at my house, that I don't really have a go-to because I just grab something that I have. Um, right now, one of the ones that I will grab because I have a lot of them is Seattle Cider's Odyssey, which is like an imperial cider. So it's like kind of semi-sweet, but it's like 8.4, so one will do you.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I found out is the alcohol content that what you told us on Saturday of your ciders is crazy.
Yeah,
Like
in general.
8.4 for like what size? Like what would that be?
It's like a canned. I think it's a 355 milliliter is what it comes in.
So
So,
today, for the first time, I ordered one. I ordered the Hardway is a cidery here in Ontario, and they have their Rambuzo was a devil's cut. So and I love the Rambuzo, like no sugar, it's bone dry, gluten free,
hmm
and everything. And it's a 355 mil for 9.2, I think, which is like
mm.
mind blowing. I don't know how I'm going to like be able to walk in the line after that comes. But I guess for you that would just be like, it's a Tuesday night cider.
I mean, some of them are that high. I've had a few, like, especially the bottled ciders. Like, I have had some that were like 10 and a half, 11%, and they don't taste it. So you're just drinking this high ABV cider, and it's fine. But most of them are like 6.9-ish and
Okay.
under them in cans. I think they have to pay a higher tax, whatever, when it's above that. And so you don't see a ton that are above that percentage unless it's like a more specialized cider, and then yeah, they're going to be in that 7-8% range, a lot of them. But
Okay.
yeah.
And like 355 is like your average size for your can there?
Usually it's 12-ounce cans.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like a little more than 355. But I think that they put them in the that imperial one and then the 355 because it is so strong, like that they had to, like, I don't know. That was what the size that they had available that they could put it in, I guess.
Sure, they have to make it smaller so that for so probably just so that people aren't like consuming too much too, right? And then like
Maybe.
as Holly in England would say, it's like you become an accidental drunk. Um, I have a question. I was talking to Jody, the chick, cider chick,
Mhm.
and she was saying that in the state, she's in New York State, that you couldn't buy cider and beer and wine at the same place. Is that the same for you?
No,
No.
Washington used to have interesting laws like that, but
Interesting.
probably like 10 years ago it changed. I can't remember exactly when, but like you used to have to go to the liquor store if you wanted to buy liquor, and then they would sell like wine and beer and cider in the grocery stores or like the mini marts, like those kind of places or bottle shops. But now, like, there's not there's not liquor stores anymore. Like you can buy it at the grocery store. So they changed all that. So like I can go to like the 7-Eleven down the street or like the gas station and I can
Mhm.
buy cider in a gas station. They probably don't have anything good, but I could buy it there. But like bottle shops will have everything. So they can all be mixed together. I think each state has its own laws, but Washington, you can buy, like, I can go to a tiny grocery store and I can find cider, beer, wine, and then like hard alcohol all in the same store and buy my
Okay.
vegetables and fruits in the same place.
So here, I mean, it's different for each province too, because I lived in the province of Quebec for a while, and they had that was the first place where I had seen actually, other than like in Canada, where you could go to the grocery store and buy wine. I think it was just wine at that time, wine, some beer, and some ciders in the grocery store, but no hard liquor. And then in Ontario here, that just started not that long ago, and
Mhm.
it's really just it's there's no hard liquor though that I've seen. If anyone else has seen it, even please chime in and let us know. But it's just a couple of select ciders and some and beer. I don't drink beer. It's like, well, I'm a celiac anyway, so I couldn't have gluten. I couldn't have the gluten in the beer even if I wanted to. Um, so for here, it's the our LCBOs, like our liquor stores here,
Mhm.
and their cider selection is so small, and actually because of the pandemic, that's how I've found out about so many other cideries around us to try different things, like, because they just you can order from them direct and it's so much easier. Yeah, no, Michelle saying, yeah, I don't think hard liquor. Yeah, not that I'm looking for hard liquor, Michelle,
Yeah.
nearby. I should preface that. And so Ava's probably wondering, like, oh, maybe she wants it. No, it just
Yeah.
the access here. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just different for everywhere. I mean, every state's a little different. I just know that for ours, like they try to make it easier. They tax it more than they used to now that it's not in the special liquor stores. But I mean, I can go, to Trader Joe's to pick up my groceries and get all, everything that I need. I don't have to go make separate trips, which is kind of nice. I mean, not that I that's where I went to buy the alcohol when I started the cocktail series because I didn't have any in my house. I think I had like a bottle of rum from like making mojitos a couple years
Yeah.
ago. So I went to Trader Joe's and I got like another bottle of rum and vodka and tequila and gin, and I'm like have this grocery cart with like just a few other things and all of that, and the guy at the register is like, oh, are you having a party? I was like, no, buying all this alcohol for my house. It's fine. Don't worry about me. But yeah.
But you like to cook a lot too. I've seen it. You post a lot about your food, and like your brunch looked pretty good. And
Yeah, it was
brunch,
leftovers. I had
yeah.
brunch on Sunday, um, and couldn't eat it all, obviously, because it was a lot. And so yesterday I was like, I'm just gonna pan fry it and fry an egg in there, and it was good. It was nice to, I don't know, just, eat your leftovers in a way that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I'm vegetarian, so I just like to
Hmm.
post. I do like to cook. I like to bake. And so then I just post the stuff that I make, and I'm like, here, look at my food that I'm eating. Always, again.
That's okay. I do the same thing. I'm like, here, this is what I made today. Here you go. Because I can't pour anything down the drain. I'm just like, I don't
Mm,
know. Maybe that's just like something that I've been doing since a kid, just don't waste it. But if I can't drink it, like what you were saying about that other cocktail that you just couldn't have, that layered one, if I open something and I can't drink it, I will not drink it because it's just will not sit well. So
yeah.
I'll just repurpose it. Like there was it was supposedly a sour cider a few weeks ago, and there was nothing sour about it except that I bought it, and so I made it into ice cubes, and that was the only time I actually got the punch. So I mean that's not cooking or baking, but just
Yeah, just
for
repurposing.
your cocktails.
Yeah.
That's just something else that's fun to do. So
I
that's sorry.
I was gonna say I used to feel bad about pouring out cider, and then I like went to a cider festival, and I was like hanging out with the cider makers, and like their own cider, they'd like take a sip of it, and then they just pour it into the grass, and I'm like, well, if you're gonna do it, then I'm gonna do it too for the ones that I don't like. I'm like, especially like I'm going to these festivals that have like 150 different ciders available. Like, you can't drink a whole taste of something and then keep drinking. So I'm just pouring it. I'm like, this isn't worth my mouth space, so I just pour it out. If I really like it, then I'll finish it. But I mean, I want to try all of them, but you
No, in that
can't.
instance,
Don't do it. You'll
yeah,
get
no,
very
in
sick.
that instance, I wouldn't walk around with a mason jar, like putting them in my mason jars or anything like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you can't, that's a fun experience.
Yeah, it was fun. And I was like, I'm like, you're just pouring it on the ground. They're like, yeah, I don't want to drink it. And I'm like, okay, we'll do the same thing. But mostly, most ciders that I try,
I can usually finish. Like I haven't poured out a lot unless they're like I've poured out some because they went bad,
Okay.
which doesn't happen often. But especially with canned ciders, if the liner goes bad, then they'll get skunky, and that's happened. And so I've had to pour out some. But usually, if that happens, you like call the company and you're like, "Hey, your cider went bad," and then they send you a new cider, so you don't feel bad for pouring it out.
Yeah, that happened to me not so recently. There must have been like a pinhole or something in the cans, but it was supposed to be a peach cider, and when I poured it every single time, like for 3 cans in a row, it tasted like peach wine, which would be fine if I wanted peach wine, but I didn't want peach wine, and I didn't pay for peach wine. I wanted peach cider, so I
Yeah,
just reached out to the company, and I'm like, this is what happened. These cans were soft, and this is not okay unless I wanted the peach cider. But yeah, I was reimbursed for that. And the great thing is, I mean, they went through and like were making sure, that there was no air missing, because
hmm
some of the cans are so soft and squishy that you wonder how it stays in there.
yeah, where it's not leaking all over your fridge.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, maybe that's why bottles are better. I don't know.
I don't know. I like both. I mean, there's a place for each. Like cans I really like for traveling and hiking, which I like to do. And then
Mhm.
or like going to the beach, I don't want to bring glass, but if I'm going to like I'm gonna go to my parents' house later tonight for dinner and I'll bring some bottled cider with me because, they're bigger sizes and we can share them and then, it's a little fancier.
Oh, nice. Have you ever tried making your own?
I have not. That's like I said, I have so many hobbies and things that I'm doing. Like I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, that's the next thing I'm gonna do, and then I'm like, but I gotta find time to do it. So I'd love to like collaborate with a cidery and do like a branded cider, like
Oh, that's cool.
my cider with them. So if any cideries are watching and want to do that with me, let me know.
Yeah, Ava needs a cider line. You just need
Yeah,
there you go.
I'll
Yeah,
just make cider through someone else and have an expert help me.
I think that's great. That's a
But
great idea.
eventually I'd like to try and do some, like home fermenting, but I have a lot of hobbies, and so finding time to do another thing is just like looking at my
Well,
day tomorrow, I'm like, there's not enough minutes in the day to do all the things that I need to do, but I'm gonna make it work.
well, I think we're all looking forward to your new ventures, and I love following like I follow Pums and Pints as well. It's so interesting, and it's also nice too because a lot of those people whose pictures that you put on. Like that's Insider Sam, Girl with a Cider Review. These are all like people that live a stone's throw from me. So it's like
Yeah.
it's so great, and to see it's just you take the international view on it too. There's a lot of people from across the seas too that you're just sharing their pictures, and that's so great because that's another way for people to connect with other cider reviewers and cider influencers, and it's like just a nice way to pay it forward. I love it. It's
Thanks.
so community oriented. So the podcast is in the works, so we're all gonna wait for that.
I'll let you know
Uh,
when it's ready.
that should be so exciting. And do you want to just do another little shout out to your event that you have this week in case there's anyone listening that's in that area and buy tickets for your live stream?
Yeah, ticket sales closed last week, but I know that well, because they have to ship the cider out, so they want to get it out,
Okay.
in advance. So I think they closed a week in advance. But tomorrow I'm gonna be doing a happy hour on Instagram with Charm City Meadery or Meadworks out of Baltimore. And then the Thursday live streaming event, there'll be another one in May. I'm not sure who the cideries will be for that one, but I'll make sure to post about it once the date is confirmed and the cideries are confirmed and people can figure out if they're part of those 14 states that they ship to. But I think it'll be a fun event. I told them I'd do one, and that if I liked it and it went well, then I would, host some more for them. But my whole thing has always been for this, if it doesn't feel fun anymore, then I'm not going to do it. So
Yeah.
like I have a day job, like this is my hobby. And
Mhm.
so if it's not fun, then why do it anymore? Right now it's still fun, so I'm just gonna keep going.
Well, that's what's important, and we're having fun following along as well. And so
Well,
tomorrow,
thank you.
your Instagram live site tasting it, if I remember correctly, is 5:30 your time, correct?
Yep,
Pacific. Yeah.
5:30 Pacific time, so 8:30 Eastern time, which they're on the East Coast, so they'll be just as sleepy as everybody else. Try and do it early enough where people, from both coasts. And then the week after that, Aval Cidery from France is going to come on. And then in like 2 weeks after that, Cider on Film is coming on
Oh, from
from
Japan.
Japan. Yep.
Oh, that's
So
Jay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He
yeah,
came to our first cider chat. Oh, he's awesome. Have you chatted with him before?
I haven't. No, just like, messaging through text. So
Yeah,
I'm
he's
excited.
actually originally from here, like, well, from Kingston, which is like a couple of hours, well, 4 hours, I think, from where I am.
Okay.
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
he's great. Yeah, yeah, he's a really
Yeah.
nice guy. Oh, that's fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So all the side chats, I think I'm gonna take a little break after that, just maybe a week or two.
Mhm.
Try and kind of spread them out a little bit more. I just have lots of life to live, and so sometimes having to be home at a certain time to do a happy hour can be a little taxing. So, and I have just too much cider, and I need to start drinking it and stop getting new cider. So,
Oh, I love that. You have too much life to live. That's what we all need to remember now, I think, is that like
yeah,
yeah, yes, we're in quarantine, yes, we're in pandemic, but we still have a life to live, and that's great.
there's a
Great.
lot going on.
Yeah.
But if anybody
Well,
does want to be
mhm.
featured on Palms and Pints, all the people I repost is because they tag me in the photos. So Palms and Pints, if you tag that account or if you tag me, I will repost it on there too. Just for anybody who wants their stuff put out in the world again.
Perfect.
Way to do it.
Perfect. That's great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your spring break
Yeah.
to chat with me. And I hope you have a great dinner with your parents today. And thank you and for making us all nice and jealous with your side of your fridge. It's great. I think we're all like looking at. I'm going to go into my kitchen now, going, where can I put one?
Yeah.
And if where can it be? Because I have a cellar, but then when it gets warm, like in the summer, my cellar's not cold, so it's really only beneficial
Mm,
for me in the winter. So now it's
yeah.
like I'm going down to get a cider, and I'm thinking, okay, this would have been better off in the fridge. So
Yeah. My mom said she got it from like a contractor's website or something, like where the contractors that are building houses would buy stuff from. So it's like cheaper than if you buy it like commercially. So if anybody's looking to get a cider fridge, I guess that's the way to do it, is buy it from a contractor's website. I don't know.
no, that's a great tip. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
makes
pay
it more
retail.
because they're expensive. They're like as much as a regular fridge, some of them. So don't buy one like that. Don't do it. It's not worth it. But I do love it. I do love having it, but it's not
Well,
worth that much.
we love seeing it too.
Well, thanks for having me
Uh,
on, Kasha. I,
oh,
I appreciate it.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, enjoy the rest of your spring break. I think I'm
Thanks.
frozen. And we'll chat again soon. And
All
everybody
right.
check in tomorrow for 5:30 Pacific time and 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll watch Ava's tasting and tag her and tag Palms and Pints in your pictures and just watch how the explosion of the photography of cider just takes off. It's just so great.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of accounts now. It's great. All
Yeah,
the cider love for everybody.
that's right.
Well, have a great
Okay.
night.
You too. Thanks so much. Thanks everyone for
Thanks.
watching. Take
Bye.
care. Thank you. Bye.